And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Bobby, thank you so much. Express Karma for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. And welcome back, everyone, to the Hispanic StarCraft 2 League Group A. We are here. Sorry. Not quite Group A. Not anymore. Welcome to Group B. Now, again, there are 6 matches in each group. There are 6 matches, but there are also a lot of amateur players, and there's also a lot of groups to go through. I do have a bit of a time limit or time schedule with when we have to be done covering the group stage, because the playoffs are going to be in April, in early April, I should say. So because that, I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so we are only featuring some of the highlights of the group stage instead. We just wrapped up with 2 matches from Group A. Now we're covering Group B. Here we go. We're going to be featuring non-stop PvPs. Let's go. As we are jumping into our next matchups, as we are jumping into Daryl versus Peruano. Now, Daryl is a player that we have covered on the channel before. Has been, I want to say, an amateur player for quite some time. You know, around Masters level, Masters to High Masters to Low GM. Has been competing for a long time. Peruano is a player that I have recognized, that I have seen on brackets, that I have seen on the ladder, but I wasn't too sure who he was. He's a more recent name that has kind of popped up on my radar, and I just assumed it was an alt account. And I just assumed it was like Chaos Fate or Zion's or one of the other Peruvian players, or maybe even a Shelby. But no, he is his own. He's his own player. He's his own person. I even thought it was like maybe like Tiratuga or Alexander. But no, he is his own separate player here, and I'm going to be covering him for the first time. I'm curious how he fares. I'm curious at what he looks like. We're jumping into our first PvP. We're going to be loading into ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have our blue Protoss player from the land of Peru, Peruano, papi. Representing clan S5X. It is Peruano. Estimation in my head. And in the bottom left hand corner, we have the other Peruvian Protoss player, the purple Protoss representing clan NWCE. It is Daryl. We go. Again, coming into this, I'm a little bit more familiar with Daryl than I am with Peruano, so we'll see how they do face off and compare against each other as we dive into our PvPs. The second of many, is what I will say. You see Peruano moving out with his initial probe scouts, going for his gate into his worker across the map. And we expect to see 2 gate openers all around. I'm curious to see if either one of these 2 players is willing to go for a max and willing to open up with a faster cyber core, with a faster economic setup. As Peruano, he does lay second gas. Does delay. There we go, 2 gate opener out of Daryl. Peruano, I don't see a second gateway. Yo, we're going for the cyber core? Okay, let's go. I'm ready. I am excited. Gateway is done. Cyber core is on the way. Peruano is going for a much more economic opener. He's going for the max. So gate into cyber core into should be Stargate, followed by the Nexus. This is going to put Daryl in a more difficult position here. Does open 2 gates. Coming with this probe scout, Daryl will confirm what's going on, and it's going to be up to Daryl to punish this in some way. As there we go, he does confirm the cyber core. Now he's aware. From here, he should be pylon blocking the natural expansion. So far, good response. He's at the natural. Is in position. Zella does pop out. And will force us back. Oof, probe. That's going to be a kill on the probe. The pylon will delay and does force out the Stargate. So there's a Stargate from Peruano, from the blue Protoss. Stargate into Oracle, followed by the Nexus. You know, Daryl going for a 2-gate response, getting into double Stalker. Now, Daryl, he can either go and try to rush into his own faster natural base, or throw down like a 3rd gateway, a robo, and try to commit into one base all in. We can see Peruano, he's searching for a proxy. Does check the 3rd location. I'll check the 3rd. Likewise, you can see Peruano checking the northern 4th base as well. You can see him scouring the map looking for proxies. making sure he doesn't get cheesed out. Daryl, he does slip by. Does move out, going for a Twilight Council in the main before expanding. Does go for the Twilight Council. Moves out with the Stalker. Shield battery's almost done here for Peruano. Did go Stargate into Oracle first. Go for the Oracle. Daryl is setting up. Still on one base, still has not expanded. Peruano, he does send out his first Oracle. The goal here is to get economic damage, to maintain an economic lead. Again, the natural is done. We have 2 shield, oh my god, 2 shield batteries, and a second pylon. Peruano, he is terrified. But I mean, he should be, because there's still no expansion. There's still no natural. Oracle dips in, heads for the main. There's a shield battery, thankfully. But he does scout Blink. Peruano, he does confirm Blink. He does confirm there's still no Nexus. Finally, it's going to be thrown down, but this is a very late expansion for Daryl. Now, in a way, this did deal in-run damage. This did force a reaction, right? 2 shield batteries and a Void Ray as well. Like, Peruano has been playing very safe. We'll see if Daryl can accomplish much. I mean, he's still expanding. He's not going for the all-in. Stasis Trap is going to be popping off. Does pull away in time. Good reaction. Good response. Daryl here defends. And he attacks. Gonna catch out the main army. He's zoned away. He's going to be zoned back. Behind this, we see a robe of response. It should be for Immortal production. Should be a Void Ray Immortal out of Peruano. There it is. Immortals are on the way. So basically, as we do see, oh no, that stasis pops off. No reaction. Not this time. We're almost getting the entire mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. Daryl, the pressure. He has to get something done here. He's got a late natural. He's got no mining in the main. Blink is almost done. And Peruano is running away with this. He's running away with this game. Not like this. So setting up. Oracle does go for a drive-by. Gets 3 worker kills in total. Daryl is still rotating. Still trying to keep up with the Oracle. Here comes a move out from Peruano. I mean, he's got his Void Rays, he's got his Immortals. Now, this army doesn't have as much mobility, but there's a lot of firepower in this army with the Void Rays up with the Immortal. A lot of DPS here for Peruano, and he may just overwhelm the third. This is Daryl's way to recover in this game. He is behind economically, that is true, but the faster third base can help him recover. If he can save it. That's a big if, because here comes the Blue Protoss. He's waiting for reinforcements, waiting for the War Prism as well, so he can reinforce, so he can juggle back, he can micro his army. And here he comes. Peruano, he does rotate. Does rotate over. Catching at a probe. Does get a worker, does hit the natural. Boys are being pulled. And we coming from behind, we do focus on the Prism, not bad. Prism goes down, but last Peruano, he should overwhelm. Oh, it takes out all the workers, the Immortals are being targeted. Oh god, but they just do so much damage to these Stalkers. Oh my god, they shut them down. Stalkers are being cleaned up, and Peruano, he does it. GG gets called, he breaks through the defensive line, and Peruano will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Peruano does take a lead in the series. And again, Peruano, he was in the driver's seat the entire game. This is the power of the Max Packs opener, is that it does force your opponent to respond and to react. Otherwise, they will fall behind. I'm referring to just scouting a more economic start, like a gate into Cybercore. And with that, Peruano, he was looking very comfortable. Very impressive here in game 1. And now we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see how Daryl will respond this time. If he just starts off with a proxy, or if he goes for his own economic start as well, as we are loading into Ultra Love. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player leading the series 1-0. It is Peruano. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the purple Protoss player, also from the land of Peru. It is Daryl. Also a Peruano, but down in the series. And I was about to say that as we get into Ultra Love, we should be setting up on the high ground. We should be setting up here. This is kind of an unwritten rule in PvP. If there's a ramp coming into your natural, then we should be expecting Gate Cyber Expands. This is more common, this is more standard. The reason for this is because of how defendable the natural is. Despite that, Daryl does go for the high ground gateway. I am concerned here. I'm a little bit more concerned for Daryl. Now, already seeing this high ground setup in a PvP on Ultra Love, I have to assume that Daryl is going to all in. I have to assume that, because again, otherwise Peruano, we're going to see a repeat of what just happened. We're going to see him get a faster natural, get a better economy, gain map control, and just snowball out of control. So I have to assume here that we're going to be more aggressive, but we'll keep an eye here on Daryl. Peruano, he scouts, he does see the second pylon already. Second pylon is further back in the main. So there is no proxy, but there's also no probe scout. Daryl, he does not scout across the map. Interesting. Oh, okay. Gate into Cybercore. So Daryl is going for a mirrored build. He is going for the same build, but he goes for the build in the main instead of at the natural. This is meant to be a mind game. Basically, Daryl, he was hoping, only showing one gateway here at the ramp, he was hoping that basically Peruano would poke up, would see that the wall was setting up on the high ground, and would back off, retreat, and overreact back at home. That was the hope, at least. Unfortunately, in the end, Peruano did go further in, did scout the initial build, and now he knows it's fine. Now he knows it's safe and sound. Nexus gets thrown down. We do see Daryl with a slightly faster expansion, going Zealot into Expand after the Cybercore. Here we can see Peruano playing safe. He goes Stargate before Nexus. And now he knows. Now he confirms. So Daryl is going to have the slightly better economy. Peruano is going to have the potential to recover with the Oracle Harass. As the Stargate is on the way for the eventual Oracles. You can see Daryl setting up on the low ground. Daryl has no idea what's happening, by the way. He's only just now scouting with hallucination, so very late scout out of Daryl. Does move out. Does confirm. Confirms the build, confirms the setup. Nice hallucination here from Daryl. Does scare Peruano away. Does force him out. Not bad. Ooh, Daryl being greedy here, going for a forge. That is a forge before Twilight Council. So very greedy, very bold move, rushing into +1. Gonna be able to rush into those upgrades. Oracle's on the way. There is thankfully a shield battery in the main. Shield battery in the main base. Oracle dives in, going for the stasis. Daryl, he does pull away, but not everything. He gets caught out. That's what, 5 probes getting caught in the stasis. Nice damage here by Peruano. Does pull away. Does pull out. Does end up pulling out. Second Oracle has arrived. 2 Oracles, they can one-shot probes. It's not going to be an easy defense here for Daryl, considering his low Stalker counts. Remember, he's still not going for a Twilight Council. He's going for +1, that is true. But there's no blink. There is no blink. Going for the Robo, going for a mortal production, I would imagine, instead. Very interesting setup. As the oracles, they poke in, they get one, they get two. Two snipe two workers. Not a single oracle goes down. Back at home, Peruano getting into his own blink. His own extra gateways. He confirms the gateway explosion and getting into a 4-gate setup here on 2 bases from the side of Daryl. Now, this is not a 2-base all-in yet, but we're getting there. We'll see if he throws down another pair of gates. If he goes up to 6 gateways, then 100% 2-base all-in. Oh. Has a nice snipe on the sentry. Sentry goes down. Going for the pylon as well. As the immortal is revealed. And I was curious to see if Daryl was just going to commit. But no, he's going for the Twilight Council. So he is thinking about Blink. It's just heavily delayed. Meanwhile, Peruano, as he's containing his opponent, takes the third. Takes a faster third base. Will have the better economy. Double Oracle into the natural. Gets one, gets two more probes. He scouts 2 more gates. Big scout. We spoke about this earlier. We said if we saw 2 more gates, 2-base all in. What do we see? 2 more gates, 2-base all in. So Daryl is going for the 2-base all in. Meanwhile, Peruano did take a 3rd base. Peruano, he has to be very careful moving forward. He has to make sure he doesn't be too greedy. He has to warp in and focus on that army production. Otherwise, he's going to be overwhelmed because this is not a 2-base 6-gate all in. It's going to be a 2-base 8-gate all in. Jesus, that's a lot of gateways. Going for the forge, +1 is done. He's going to deny +2. Nice snipe. And the upgrades are a big factor here. That's the big advantage that Daryl has, that he will lose that advantage. I mean, he still at least has +1, but +2 is going to be heavily delayed. That was the timing he was going for, was +2. Stalkers, they commit a little bit too hard here. They don't quite get the immortal. Not quite. Daryl stands with the army. Rotating over into the main. This Blink is going to be punished, though, as he gets 1 Stalker and has to pull out, has to pull away. But he's just confirming the all-in is happening. Again, we're building up more Archons, more Immortals. That's going to be a very hefty Immortal counts, and Archons as well, a very beefy army. There's a lot of firepower here. Again, these stage traps are going to be crucial when it comes to defense, just slowing down the push, buying time for extra warp-ins. He is yet to break out. Daryl's still building up his forces. And again, he's still waiting for +2. Now we finally just break out, but the stasis does go up. Ooh, they get baited out there. No major connections. Not looking too bad here for Daryl. Does break out. It does push through. And again, it's all or nothing here. Daryl is a 100% all in. We'll bring in more Archons, more Zealots. Let's push forward. He has 5 Archons on 3 Immortals. The Archons, he can shut down those Zealots. Meanwhile, the snipe. Ooh, Prism goes down. And nice snipe here from Peruano. Going for the tower. This I'm less certain of, as the tower is not going to go down. That's wasted DPS. Boys are being pulled. Probes are falling. Yeah, lapse of judgment there from Peruano. And Daryl, he's breaking through. He's breaking through. This is snowballing out of control. He takes down the entire mineral line. Down to a couple of Archons. Does he have enough to keep going? Ooh, it looks like barely not. Oh my god, Peruano, he will barely hold on. Despite having all of his Stalkers doing nothing, they did 0 damage in that fight, sniping the Prism, and then just focusing on the tower for some reason. Or again, just some miscontrol there from Peruano. Despite that, does hold. Whew. Does hold on, does survive. And remember, Daryl was all in. Daryl, he was completely all in. The third base is denied. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Peruano. Now, Peruano, he did lose 18 probes there in that defense. He did lose a lot of his economic edge, but it's still there. He's still in 3 bases. He can still recover. He can still recoup those losses. So alas, Daryl, our Peruvian Protoss player here, he is struggling. It was all on the line. I did not quite pull it off. Daryl, he does take his third. Trying to recover, trying to macro out of this. I mean, hey, he has +2, true. Does that +2? So I'll say, do hit the mineral line. Not bad, getting a lot of damage actually. Oh my god. Yeah, they do pop off. Getting into that mineral line, getting another, what, 33 worker kills in total. Now going back into the main. Peruano instead going for his own counterattack. Ooh, Daryl is not ready for this. Yeah, he needs more reinforcements, needs more warp pins. Now rises with another immortal. Nice target firing. Let's pull away. Peruano, he is deflected. And Daryl, can he recover? Yes, Peruano still doesn't have the best economic setup here. As he's just lost so many workers. And he's just going mass Archon. Jeez. How many Archons does he have? 8, soon to be 9 Archons. Just pure Archon at this point. It's a lot of Archons. Archons are good, but that's where the Immortals are for. The Immortals, they can just focus on these Archons so fast, assuming they can get on top of them, of course. As Daryl needs his own Archons to buffer, to support. Peruano just massing up his army. Does move out. There we go, he does commit, and again the 9 Archons are pushing through. The Immortals have to kite back. They're staying at range. They do focus on one of the Archons. They get 2 Archons even. But again, he's running out of that buffer, running out of that support. Getting another couple of Archons. Jeez, the Immortals do so much damage to the back line. And Daryl, he's holding. He's holding on back. Oh my god. Again, pure Archon, it does poorly against pure Immortal. Zealous, that does complicate things. We have Peruano peeling off here into the main. Daryl, for the first time in a long time, takes the supply lead. Spots the army, spots a rotation. He has to respond. Archon jump into the mineral line. Gets 1 probe, gets 2. Not bad. 3 kills in total. Peruano pulls away. And honestly, it's very tense. It's very tense between the 2 players. Daryl, he has +3. Jesus. He has +3, now working on +1 shields. Daryl still building up a death blow of an army. Peruano behind this. So just stuck on purely Zealot Archon. Getting to +2. Daryl is taking his 4th. Is getting his 4th base. Likewise, so is Peruano. Both players are still building up. And now we have to take a moment to take stock. compare our armies, who do we favor here? Now, I'm still not in love with Peruano's composition. It looks like finally he has recognized that he is missing Immortal, so he's getting to his own Immortal production, but the Immortal production is very low here for Peruano. Archons are quite limited in what they're good at. They are amazing when it comes to tanking and focusing down Zealots. That's kind of all they're there for. So I do favor Daryl's composition currently. I appreciate that he's going into his own Blink, and with this can now reinforce with Master Blink Stalker, which I think will fare better here against the army composition of Peruano. Peruano no longer has that greater economy, does have the 4th base getting up and running, but alas, so does his opponent. Ooh, this I do like though. Peruano, 2nd Robo, into Bay, into Disruptors. This is a greater form of tech than either player has right now, is Disruptors. Oh, Prism! Oh my god, Prism takes a lot of hits. Does get away. Does pull away in time. But if Peruano can buy enough time for Disruptors, then he can overwhelm his opponent. But Daryl is already moving out. He's not giving him that time. Oh, a little bit premature though. Runs into the army. Again, Daryl is not quite ready. And with his reinforcements, takes down the Prism. Prism goes down. Better concave here for Daryl. Yeah, Peruano pushing down into the concave. Yeah, much better engaged here. The Immortals, they just go to town on these Archons. Very nice arc. Peruano bleeding out far too much here, and Daryl, he's going to make a series out of this. Had a very rough game 1, but here in game 2, he pulls off the initial 2-base all-in, eventually forced to expand, forced to take another base, but alas, he did preserve his army, did preserve it, and did trade well enough, and GG gets called. Daryl ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. Oh. GG, well played. So you just had to see. We're going to the ace match. Really the only way this could end here between these two players, as game 3 is going to be on Amygdala. Let's go. Let us go. So we are making our way into the ace match. We'll see how this story ends. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our blue Protoss player. We have our blue Protoss from land of Peru, representing his own clan. It is Peruano. Being forced into the ace match, we'll see if we can bring it back. Meanwhile, spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the other Peruvian Protoss player. We have the purple Protoss, representing clan NWCE. It is Daryl. We go. I believe they're talking and they're referring to their current rankings. So as a reminder, this is the round robin format. And basically, Peruano, he's asking him, basically, yeah, Daryl, he was talking about like points and how like I mean, we don't really know the discussion that we're having beforehand, but they're talking about their matches and their points in the group. Daryl saying that that Peruano is his 3rd opponent. Oh no, Daryl. He's saying that he only has 1 point right now, and I guess last game was his 1st point. Let's go, let's go. So yeah, they're both discussing like their current standings in the groups. Go. We are going to be settling in. And in total, I believe they have 6 matches. They have 6 matches. Oh man, not mistaken. Leave me alone. They'll keep you humble, man. Keep you humble. For now, though. For now, we are going to be settling in. For now, we have our 2-gate opener out of Daryl. Meanwhile, once again, gate into Cybercore here from Peruano. Oh, sorry, into Stargate. So Peruano, he's going for the same opener every game. Every game so far, Gate, Cyber, Stargate into expansion. Game 1, Game 2, now Game 3 as well. The pressure's on Daryl to try to punish this. To attempt to. So far, Daryl opening up 2-gate. Daryl, he did not probe scouts, bear that in mind. And we are also loading into Omega, one of the larger maps in the map pool. It does go for the expansion instead. So 2 gates into Nexus. We are building up towards that mid game. Let's go. Let us go. So players are fanning out. Hallucination from Daryl will just confirm. And because the opener of Peruano, really Daryl's going to be stuck at home. He has to be stuck defending against the Oracle, as the Oracle is on the way. Hallucination confirms the timing of the expansion and confirms the Stargate as well. Meanwhile, Adept, does shade into the main. Gets a probe kill. And 2 in total. 2 workers go down. Now the shield batteries are finishing up. Just in time for the Oracle. But we have seen stasis traps pop off. We have seen Peruano get damage done. For now, deflected. Now he's ready for him. No, Peruano, he does actually move out with his entire army. Reinforces with more Stalkers, more Zealots. Second Oracle's on the way. Throws out another gate. So getting up to a 3 gates. Sorry, that's the second gateway. So 2 gates set up into Blink. This Blink has begun. Daryl does commit to the shade. That means the Natural's exposed. Stalkers poke in. They force the Stalkers to react. That does create an opening. Oracle into the main. But there are hallucinated Stalkers to defend. Let's go. Daryl, he's been using hallucinations quite a bit this series. I didn't quite point it out, but we also saw them come into play in Game 1 and in Game 2. It's a great effect. Just to bluff and just to scare his opponent. If Peruano, if he knew it was double sentry, most likely he would have just committed with a stasis trap anyway. Committed to that stasis. Meanwhile, Daryl, I had just made the assumption that he was going to be opening up Blink as well, but no, it's going to be a Robo opener into a Prism instead. Interesting. Robo openers are usually a little bit safer just because they allow you to make immortals early on and also tech up potentially. So yeah, this is I would still stand by and call this a safer opener out of Daryl, as this is going to heavily delay something like Blink. Now moving out. Making his way across the map. Peruano setting up his own proxy. Building up his Stalkers. He's on how many gates? He's on 3 so far, about to be 4. So 4 gate Blink out of Peruano. And he's committing. Yeah, he's committing here. So 4 gate Blink out of Peruano. He is expanding behind this. At the same time, Daryl does come in with his Adepts. Does slip into the main. Damage is being done, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter here. Peruano, he does commit. Blades into the natural. Takes down that shield battery. Workers are going to be pulling. Nice force field. He locks down the probes. Probes are being locked down. Boys are being pulled, and both players are going to be losing their workers here. Workers are going down all over the place. So what's important here is going to be the main armies. Peruano, he can reinforce. He pulls away. There's that recall. Oof. Small workers are falling. Daryl, he races back home, hallucinates the immortals. Let's go. Does hallucinate. As the dust settles, Peruano, he's now down in the economy, down to 33 workers. Oh, he's in a rough position here. But instead, he has a larger army. He has 11 Stalkers. Glaives on the way for Daryl. Oh, third base a little bit ambitious, is going to be denied. Oh, that's a kill! That should not have happened. That's a kill, not a cancel. Not like this. Not like this. The soldiers do rotate. Diving into the main. Diving into the main base, catching out more key units, catching out the prism, and Peruano just out positioning Daryl here. Remember, Daryl, he doesn't have Blink of his own. We can just target down Stalkers, go for the Immortal as well. Massive pickoff. Immortal will survive. More boys being pulled. And despite the initial defense here of Daryl, he's struggling. He is struggling here. He'll lose the final Immortal. Oof. We have one more on the way. Just now popping out. That'll help survive a little bit longer here, but this is just critical damage at this point. And Peruano, he dives in, takes down another Stalker. Peruano still does reinforce. Still rallying across the map. Still does rally. We're setting up so many station traps as well. I doubt he just can't move freely in his own expansion, in his own base. There we go, blinks down to low ground, catches more Stalkers, going for the third. GG gets called as Peruano gets out of hand, he gets out of control, and Peruano, he will claim the series 2-1. GG. Ooh, GG, well played, congratulations. Peruano, he will claim it, he will advance, or he will take down his opponent 2-1. But a shout out to Daryl, because Daryl, he was able to hold his own in game number 2. A very intense back and forth between Daryl and Peruano. And as we did here, this was Daryl's first point in the group as well, is to take a map off of Peruano. GG. GG, well played. GG, well played. With that, that leads us into our next series. That leads us into another interesting one, just because I'm curious to see how this did play out and how Akedon is looking. I mentioned this before, but Akedon, he does make his return. Akedon, he has not competed in StarCraft in like 6 months. It's been a long time. It's been, sorry, I would say 5 months. It's been 5 months since he last competed. Akedon, his last tournament was back in October of last year, and because that, I had assumed that he had silently retired. Thankfully, I am wrong. Thankfully, or at least, I mean, he's at least playing in this event. He does make his return for the first time in 2025 in the Hispanic Star League. Akedon, he is back, but he is looking different here. Akedon, I would say he was one of the best European Terran players out there. I would have rated him, I believe, either equally with Battle B or even above Battle B. But again, Akedon, he did step away, and Akedon, in his return, is not Terran, is Protoss. Akedon, he has switched to Protoss. Whether this is a permanent change or not, hard to say. Hard to say. I mean, we're about to find out. We are about to find out. Is this something that he's going to commit into, just pure Protoss? Is he going to race switch later on in the tournament? Hard to say. Hard to say. We're going to find out. If I get the opportunity to ask him, I will. I will ask him, you know, the motivations behind it. I know there's been a lot of hype around Protoss recently, as a lot of players have been switching to Protoss, at least for certain matchups, right? Like Clem plays Protoss to avoid mirror matchups. Raynor and Dark, they play Protoss to avoid mirror matchups. Daryl, he was playing Protoss recently in 2v2s. Like, a lot of people have been playing Protoss. But not many have been like making the full switch. That's the difference. Like, usually these pro players, they're using Protoss to supplement one of their weaker matchups, but Akedon, for now at least, has made the full switch, and because that, I'm curious to see what his Protoss is looking like at the moment. I'm curious to see what the game state is for Akedon, what kind of form he's in.